Now, to join the sides to the plates, to the top or the back, we use a lining, what's called lining strip. Now, you can buy these from any guitar supply places. They typically are made of mahogany, the ones you buy, although any straight-grained, fairly light wood will do the trick. And all they are, they have a triangular cross-section. They're square on one quarter and then slant on the other one. And then they're typically sliced or curved all along their length to make them more flexible. Now, one like that from the store will cost you about $6 Canadian. And being the frugal person I am, I make my own, which is not very difficult at all. This particular piece is made of Western red cedar, which is just a plank I had lying around with a nice straight grain in it. And I cut rectangular sections out of that wood, and then I tilt my bandsaw on a 15-degree angle and run the whole thing lengthwise through the bandsaw to cut it into two angled pieces, both of which I then use. Then I cut the curves in it with the bandsaw again, using this little square I have on here, which has a slot cut in it, and it's marked out. It's marked out with markings about a quarter of an inch apart along there. The distance the curves are apart don't make any difference as long as they're a good distance. And I simply just, I'll put a stop on here so it stops just before I've cut through the whole thing. I want to leave a little bit of web there, so I place a stop here on the bandsaw, and I run that through, and then move that over to the mark, and run it through again, move over to the mark, run it through again, and we can put those together fairly quickly and cheaply. Now, before we attach that curved line to the sides, we have to trim the sides to length, or close to length anyway. They're obviously a bit long, it overhangs here. So, first thing we need to do is mark where, we need the center line marked on the tail block here, so we know where they're going to join. So, trying to find the center line of the side, of the top I should say. It's going to be hard to find. You should be able to see the in the end grain of the material where that center seam is. So we take a square and just extend that line up the tail block and on to the top. Now then just take the side and align one of them with that center line you've made there, and stick a clamp on it to hold it there, and work around the side a bit and get it lined up on the template line as close as possible. It should fit right inside the template line, relatively closely without too much work. I take another clamp and just anchor it here at the waist. To hold it in place. And then lay it around onto the where it's going to go at the front. And then just make a mark in the center where that's going to head off to. Once you've got that cut to length, the other thing you want to mark, and incidentally neither of these lengths is totally critical. And this one gets hidden altogether by the neck, and you trim it up anyway. And this one, when you put there's a decorative piece goes in here which protects this joint. You want to get it lined up, and you want to indicate where the tail block starts on it, because the line is only going to go to that point, and where the head block comes to. Same reason. Now we're ready to glue the lining in. Now we're going to glue this curved lining we just made onto the side of the guitar. Now you'll recall we jointed the edge of the side that's going to go against the soundboard. So when we glue this curved lining on, we want to maintain that surface, that jointed surface. So we want to glue this on so it's just a little bit proud of the side material. Never below the side material, because what we'll do afterwards is we'll go around and sand this down till it's just flush with the material of the side. The last thing you want to do is have to sand the side down to make it flush with this lining, because then we're going to have a wonky shaped side in our guitar. So I put some glue on there, fair amount. I'm not too worried about exact length of this. It's a little too long. It's going to have to be cut off. Because we can snap it off at any one of the curves relatively easily. And I have these little plastic spring clips. I have thousands of them here. Not really 1,000. Which I bought at my favorite big box hardware store for not very much money. And they work great. You can actually buy clothes pegs that are heavy duty that will work as well. The regular clothes pegs just don't seem to have enough tension in their springs. These things came in two different sizes. These big ones, which I use on the ends as well. And what I do is I just go around here and place them fairly quickly, because they want the glue to dry, kind of spaced out, and then I'll go back and fill in all the holes, all the gaps, so that I have a solid row of clamps all the way along here. And making sure it's just a bit higher than the edge of the side. As little as possible and still have it high. Now you will find that it drifts around a bit and goes up and down. The clamps will tend to pull it up because of the slant on the triangle. So keep checking that. And as long as you have sawn those curves relatively well, you shouldn't have too much trouble getting it. You'll hear it maybe snap and crack a bit as it goes around the corners. That doesn't matter. Traditional old-style classical guitarists cut individual little pieces and glued them all in, one at a time, which works well, but it's just more fun than I have time for. It's the end here. I've snapped it off next to the line that I had drawn where in this case, the headlock is going to be. And then I go back around and fill in all the gaps. So I have a solid line of clamps. And equal pressure all the way up and down this. Then I will flip it over and scrape the glue squeeze out of there.